Hello, everyone. On June 9th, there's going to be a conjunction between Uranus and Astraea, one of the karma breakers in karmic astrology. We actually have two celestial objects that denote some sort of karma breaking and destiny changing. And for this, you need to understand that karma is the past and destiny is the future. And whenever you are able to break old embedded karma that you have brought in from past incarnations, yes, you will be changing your destiny as well. This is brilliantly described in chaos theory in mathematics, that even the slightest change, even the wings of the butterfly, can actually create huge differences. So this is such a day, actually, because the two karma breakers are Astraea, which is the inner karma breaker. It's an asteroid. And the other one is Aries, drastically altered outward circumstances, but it's a TNO. At the moment, Uranus is conjunct Astraea, and Uranus is the planet of disruption and chaos and anarchy. And yes, it's the archetype of the anarchist that blows up everything and is disregarding any important aspects of life, even human life. But it's also the planet of change. Without it, we would have a problem how to change our lives. Anyhow, this is the space-time moment for London. So it's at 4:35 p.m. on the 9th of June. And let's take a look at some features in this chart. First of all, Jupiter is still conjunct the North Node in Taurus, allowing us to actually enthusiastically think of our destinies and do something about it. At the moment, the North Node is in Taurus, as you probably know. The nodes change signs every 1.5 years. And in Taurus, we have had and still have a couple of weeks left. We have the task actually to create harmony and money and resources and security, anything that is linked to Taurus. The problem is that Uranus is also in Taurus, disrupting just these things. And Jupiter now enlarges the whole thing, so we may become completely aware of the fact and actually understanding that, yes, this is what we need to do and hoping that we will be able to do it. Here is the exact Uranus-Astraea conjunction. And if you look a little bit further, you will see that Mercury around 27, 28 degrees Taurus is exactly at the midpoint of Sedna Vesta. This is another indication that Mercury means, of course, communication, learning, the ability to express yourself, discourse in general. And Mercury is at the midpoint of Vesta Sedna, and Sedna denotes creation through dissection. It simply gives us the potential to look at our lives and select the non-working segments of it, throw them out, and create something new and workable and usable from the remaining things. And as you can see, Sedna is still at 29 degrees 55 Taurus, while Pluto is at 0 degrees 01 Aquarius, retrograding, and it will be soon going back into Taurus on the 11th of June, so 2 days after this. And so you have a very tight trine, which is energetically a square, a fixed square, quite fascinating. And the vertex, which is the point of no free will, is also at Sedna in this chart, which made me think. Anyhow, so the Pallas Athena, Lilith, the Black Moon Lilith is also still very tight. These two archetypes are moving together for a while. And the moon, which has moved into Pisces about 6-7 hours ago and will be crossing over Saturn another 6-7 hours later, is actually blocked by Saturn at this moment. So if you saw this in a natal chart, then this is a blocking conjunction, and it actually denotes some sort of so the person who has this is usually prone to depressions. But in this case, because it's a mundane chart. We see the movement of it. So Saturn is kind of blocking the moon, but at the same time, the moon will conquer and will soon leave Saturn behind. And it's at the moment opposite trans-Pluto. What else is here? And there's going to be a T-square, actually a karmic cage, which I'm going to tell you in a second. Yeah, let's take a look at the Uranus-Astraea conjunction. And again, the fact that it is very, very tight, exact to the minute, means that at this space-time moment, actually, the conjunction will be within orb for quite a while. But at the same time, it is the potential to do something about your destiny in order to break old embedded karma through change. Uranus is here. And if you take a look at the chart here, you can see that the conjunction makes a square to the Pallas Athena Lilith conjunction. And the square, which is a fixed square, a little bit wide for my taste, but it's still kind of there. Actually quite wide, but I wanted it to show you, because here's the dilemma. Whether you should be wise, Pallas Athena, or whether you should be strong and determined, Lilith. And it's up to you, really. It depends what you would like to change in yourself. Have you been able to be always very strong and very determined and do what's right and do what's decent? Then you are a Lilith archetype. Are you also strong, but at the same time, you know how to be wise, you know how to, oh, sorry, I got a note here. Anyhow, so I was really deeply down in this meditation because to me, Pallas Athena and Lilith are similar, but very, very different, because Pallas Athena always does what's wise. And Lilith doesn't care for her own security, doesn't. Lilith is the goddess energy who is always resurrecting herself. And now they are at right angle from Uranus and Astraea. And then Chiron, the center of karmic wounds, is dissolving this square. So there is this fiery energy, which fire is also always about transformation. Here are the transcendental celestial objects. On Uranus Astraea, you have Cerberus and Botane. Cerberus, of course, is the three-headed dog of the underworld, keeping the gates of the underworld. Good job, we could say. I mean, everything is coming to the surface really badly. And then Botane is the Delta Aries. Why am I doing this? I'm never changing the... Sorry. Okay, so Delta Aries, not a very bright star. You will see that Gamma is also 4.5. So the stars of the constellation Aries are not really bright. Anyhow, the whole constellation of Aries is about fighting, is about self-determination, it's about how you exercise the will. It's the hero, the fighter, the warrior, so to speak. And then on Chiron, you have Heracles and Nike. And this is exactly what's happening in the world. Heracles is another hero, and Nike is the goddess of victory, the euphoria. She is expressing the euphoria of victory. Look around, everyone wants to fight. It's ridiculous how the American neocons are fueling this war, how the cretins in the European Parliament just published countless advertisements to raise money for Ukraine, to give them more weapons and more ammunition to kill more people. It's ridiculous. The whole thing is so ridiculous. You can't win in this war. No one can win this war. Everyone will lose this war. Everyone will die in this war if we are not careful. But you know, who cares? Okay, there's the hero. Okay, the self-made hero, who I'm thinking of, and then there is Nike, and the euphoria of victory went into their heads, and that's what's happening now. On Pallas Athena, Black Moon Lilith, you have Hebe, the goddess of youth, and yes, we should really think about our youth. We should think about the young people, the young men who are actually dying. I just read the accounts of a of a military expert who said that whenever they are opening up the draft for age groups that are too young or too old, and for women, you know that this country is in deep shit, because they no longer have the manpower to power their army. And there's also Dubhe, which is Alpha Ursa Major, quite a bright star to magnitude 2.0 magnitude. And the whole constellation of Ursa Major has a very interesting meaning, which you only understand in Hungarian, because the Big Dipper, there's a legend around the Big Dipper that it used to be the chariot of a Taltos, and when it broke, he couldn't find anyone to repair it, and so he pushed it into the sky, and now it is circling around the pivot of the Earth, which is of course the pole star. So you have this thing that got broken, and it cannot be mended, and now it is seeking some kind of repair or putting the balance back, something like that. But it also is linked to the goddess energy, because the bear, the two bears, the little bear and the big bear, are again the totem animals of the goddess. Well, I think I said everything. So yeah, we've just finished this. And there's this karmic cage that I highlighted in the first chart. And as you know, the nodal axis describes your destiny and your karmic experiences, not the sum total of your karmic experiences, but certainly a pack that you are bringing in for this incarnation, which is helping you to come out of troubles. It's like a self-preserving package. It is your survival kit. You behave in threatening situations like you, as the energy pattern of your south node. And you should move towards your destiny choice, which is your north node, but you actually don't do this until the midlife crisis or even much later, except when you have a karmic cage, which means that you have two squares from a planet to the nodal axis, creating a T-square. In this case, it is Venus. This is a fixed karmic cage, a fixed T-square. And this Venus in Leo is ruling the North Node. It is ruling our destiny. But of course, it is at right angles. So it means that we have countless daily struggles, problems, how to how to cope with, and how to get into this task, to accept it. And here is the big picture, because if you add the moon and trans-Pluto, then you find that there is not just a T-square, but also a mystic rectangle at 3 to 4 degrees of the signs. And the mystic rectangle highlights the moon and trans-Pluto. Trans-Pluto denotes dimension jump, but it is also a feminine archetype, because we link Pluto's wife Persephone or Isis. Both their legends describe this particular celestial object, but it's also the potential for channeling, so getting down information and understanding situations from getting some help from above. And then the moon is actually illuminating it, giving it psychic power and illumination as well, insight as well. Here are the transcendental objects. On the moon, you have Damocles, and yes, Third World War is already happening. Whether it is going to turn into a nuclear war depends solely on Russia's leaders. If you want to drive them insane, he will use his weapons. If you are willing to understand his security needs, Russia's security needs, then you will do accordingly. Obviously, the American administration and military machine doesn't want to realize this. And that's the problem, because unfortunately there are cretins who are leading the world, and it's really very sad and also very dangerous. And then, so Damocles, that's what's actually hanging above us. And luckily there are two beautiful and brilliant alpha stars, Sada Melek, which is Alpha Aquarius, which is linked to luck, and Fuma Haut, which is Alpha Pisces Austrinus, the southern fish, the alpha star of the southern fish, usually the eye of the southern fish. This is how it is depicted. And it is a southern constellation, quite far away from everything. This star is often called the loneliest of the stars because there are no bright stars in its vicinity. But it's also a darker corner of the universe. But it's also one of the royal stars of Persia, bringing you luck and success. Through mystic dreams, through noble ideas, mysticism, but you need to avoid daydreaming. And on Venus, you have Stellarus, which is a centaur, and it is linked. It is among a group of centaurs who are very much aware of their birth rights, that they are half animals, and they are striving to better themselves. Stellarus does this through the arts, all sorts of arts. So it also provides you healing through the arts. And what I always say, if Stellarus is prominent, take a look what form of art appeals to you, music or painting or something. Either do it or just cultivate it or utilize it, or anything that makes you happier and makes you more content and more healthy. Do it for yourself. And as Venus is now conjunct Stellarus, this is exactly what we need to do for our well-being. And Al-Tarf, which is Beta Cancer, which in Arabic, Al-Tarf means the stair, your insight. So this is one of the stars that are very much linked in to insight, to look into the ability to look into things and understanding things. On the North Node, you have Minerva, another wise woman, the Roman counterpart of Pallas Athena, and Meshartim, which is Gamma Aries, 4.8. As you could see, this is actually Gamma is the third brightest star, but is slightly less bright than Delta, which is the fourth brightest star. It's quite interesting. Sometimes they have these swaps. And Meshartim is the star that is heralding a new era. On the South Node, you have Electra, Xerxes, and Iris. Iris is the personal messenger of Hera. Xerxes is a general who is first winning and then losing. And Electra is one of the protagonists of the Minotaur story. It's a wonderful story, really. I think there's a novel now out there explaining the whole thing. I think that's the name. Electra is the name of it, but it has many. It is a brilliant story. It has so many details. There's unrequited love and true love, and there are monsters, and there's bravery, and there's hero, and of course revenge and all sorts of manipulation. Electra actually makes her baby brother to kill her mother. So it's a fascinating story. So revenge and retaliation are also linked to it. But there's Rhadamanthus, another main protagonist of the whole story, of the same story, because Rhadamanthus is the son of Zeus and Arope, and Zeus makes him the king of the domain, and he actually then later on he puts order back. He creates order in Minos, and after his death, Zeus makes him one of the judges of the underworld. So it's a quite a fascinating story. And on Trans Pluto, you have Plato, a wise old man, and Ginevra, the feminine archetype of another wife archetype who only needs to be beautiful in order to become the first lady. Let's put it this way. She is King Arthur's wife. So here are some more features and highlights for you. Summer is starting here in Hungary. School is the kids are quitting school this week. and it means that everyone is going on vacation, and I will be in and out as well. I'm not sure how much I'm going to work during the summer. Of course, I will. But here are some highlights for you to watch. On the 11th of June, Pluto is retrograding back to Capricorn, and for a while it will be there. 2 days later, there's going to be a very, very tight Pluto-Sedna energetic trine at the very, very end of the Earth signs. And then on the 15th, 2 days later, Ceres is joining them, creating an Earth grand trine, an energetic Earth grand trine. I'm definitely going to make a video of this because that's a beautiful one. And the next day, Sedna is entering Gemini. Sedna, which is now direct, is entering Gemini. And then this very, very tight grand trine falls apart energetically because obviously from Earth, Sedna is shifting into air. And on the 18th, we will have a Gemini new moon on Juno. As you can see, this particular conjunction, which is actually applying here, you need another 9 days before it becomes exact, and it's going to be exact on the new moon, or maybe a day earlier, but it's going to be still very tight. So Juno will be very well featured in this upcoming new moon. That's it. Try to do some karma breaking, and with it, you will change your destiny. And I wish you happy understanding of the situation and happy karma breaking. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.